Shit, I don't know who these people are. Anyways, just messing with you. We have Kyle and Chris on, and if I say the name wrong, well, I probably say it wrong all the whole show. From Ezra Zion, did I get it right?
Got it, brother.
Look at this. Huh? I get an A already today. So I want to thank the guys for being patient with us. We did have another server issue. We did recently switched our server so you guys can watch us live on your tablet, your cell phone, and unfortunately mishaps happened. But we're back. We're live, and the gentlemen were patient enough to sit back, relax, and we're going to shoot the shit. Talk about their cigars. If any of you don't know anything about them, which I don't know a lot about you, so I'm looking forward to getting to know you, and we'll go from there. So let's start off very simple. Tell everybody a little bit about yourselves. Take your, one go at a time here. I don't want to be directing all day, and then go from there. So take it away. Who's going to go first? Look,
cool.
wait. I think what? Chris said, Kyle, you had to do all the talking today.
That's fine.
Okay, go ahead, Kyle.
It'll be a good show then. It'll be a really good show. Well, I just want to say I'm the one that's suffering out here in California sunshine, and everybody else is after the show going to go make snowmen, and I'm going to go to the beach. So someone's got to do it, man. No.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Mike, for recognizing.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thanks for having us on, everybody. That you would, you guys, both y'all would allow us to come and talk about our cigars, and it's an honor to be here. And hi to everybody that's watching. Yeah, we are Ezra Zion Cigar Company. There's 3 partners actually, and one, the Don couldn't make it this morning. He's on the road traveling, but. We like cigars, and we think we make pretty good cigars. At least that's our endeavor, and just having a blast, man. Having an absolute blast with my 2 cigar brothers making great Nicaraguan cigars, man. So,
and the one thing I'll tell you, there's no doubt. Like I said to you earlier, I didn't know a lot about you guys, and I've been out of town on business for the week. And I smoked the Reagan on the way home, and right away, and even with this one, you could tell right away it's Nicaraguan tobacco. I mean, right away, it's got that zing and that spiciness, which is enjoyable.
Yeah, it was funny too because we're on another show here a few days ago, and one of the guys asked us, why we prefer the the Nicaraguan tobacco over Dominican or other regions or countries or whatever, and I was like, well, the taste. Answer done. So I mean, yeah, to us the Nicaraguan has that characteristic that, I mean, it's just unreal. You got the traditional flavors people describe, like the spice and the coffee and the cocoa and all those things, but to us the Nicaraguan has this thing, this yumminess in it that you don't get. I don't know, it's just the X factor in the blends that just comes through. It's like this exponential multiplication thing, the way the tobaccos marry up. So
right,
we are students of Nicaraguan tobacco and huge fans of Nicaraguan tobacco. So
great. Well, Chris, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, buddy, and then we'll go into your brands. And the chat room's already throwing out questions, so it looks like it's going to be a good show.
Very cool.
Right on. Well, yeah, Chris, one of 3 great brothers, Kyle and Ellen, and we've been after this for a few years, and I personally went full time into this last year in July, and we're making a good run in it. We're trying to be able to bring great cigars out to market, be able to put something out there that's different enough in a sea of cigars that people will be able to enjoy it. So just here to have a good time. Thanks for having us on the show. Let's get after it. What do you guys want to know?
Oh, absolutely. Well, we'll start. Mike, go ahead and start off with the chat room question. You want to do that, or?
Yeah.
Yep.
He's in Cali.
They're all waiting. They're like, nobody's going to tell you where the Don is.
No, you know what? Actually, the official answer to that is that the Don is omnipresent, man. He's everywhere. He is an aura. He has an idea.
It's like, we can't tell you where the Don is. It's top secret.
That's the truth.
No, I mean, what, you know, the exact thing that we're doing right now with this show, you know, on Skype. I mean, that's what we do several times a week. We do video conferencing, we do telephone conferencing. You know, the headquarters is located here out of Texas, but we all originally met in California, and that's where we started the planning and everything else. And you know, next week Kyle's actually moving out to Texas, so he's going to be in a geographical area that's good, so that we can actually get together and meet.
Those are my guns.
But at the end of the day, you know, really the only challenge is what airport are we going to meet before we head down to start blending, and where we're going to start working. Outside of that, communication just flows during the week.
Nice. Real quick, Mikey, I don't know if you saw the chat room. I don't know if you have your mic on, but John's saying he can't hear you. Can you guys hear him now? Yeah, if you see us looking up and around, it's because our cameras and monitors are up here for the chat room, and everything. And what Mike's trying to keep track of is on top as well. That's it. The mic was off. All right, putts. You know what it is? Mike's technologically inclined to fuck the show up. That's what's happening.
It keeps it interesting, dude.
Yeah. Well, while Mike's sitting there figuring out what he screwed up, let's get into your cigars. Go ahead and start. Let's start off with the Reagan.
Oh, the Reagan. I'll tell you what about that cigar. When we worked on that blend and finally got it dialed in, you know, there's 3 owners of the company, and so we each got this, you know, big nut of, you know, cigar loving of the Reagan. And I chain smoked those things so fast that I have been out of Reagans for 2 months, and I just can't seem to get Chris to send me any out of the warehouse, which is pretty messed up. So yeah, so I own a cigar company, and I have to go down to a retailer and buy my own cigar. That's messed up.
So here you go, boys and girls. If you're going to start a cigar company, make sure you're the one that's at the headquarters logo.
There you go.
Messed up.
Because then you always have smokes.
Exactly. So,
hey, you know, I got a Reagan right here, Kyle. I'm smoking right here. It's all good.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, Daddy, can I borrow the car tonight? You gotta
Pretty much, yeah.
Can I have a cigar?
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. But I'm packing up the family. We're rolling out there next week to Texas, and so I will be raiding your humidor, Chris. So just get ready.
Yep, it's locked, and I changed the gate code, so good luck.
It's going to happen. But you know, the Reagan is a cigar that I mean, to me, it tastes like none other. It's hard to describe, but the initial flavors when we started blending it and finally started to dial in on fine tuning the blend. To me, I kept saying it's got this Tootsie Roll flavor in it, and a lot of people were thinking, you know, I'd use that terminology, that it was flavored or infused or something like that, and I'm like, dude, I got to come up with something that's a better description for this cigar. So to me, it's very truffly. It's got lots and lots of chocolate in it. Some people say, you know, it's got some caramel, some burnt sugar, almost creme brulee, and you know, everywhere we go, people, I mean, they love the Reagan. It's got a Habano wrapper on it. The guts of it, you know, we kind of need to keep secret, but it's all grade A, very old, very aged tobacco in it, and it's a project that we worked with Manolo Casada on, and you know, he did his famous Nicaraguan is, you know, obviously the Casa Magna, yep. And you know, big fan of that cigar, and just being able to work with someone like that on that particular blend and that particular project was a real honor, and it came out phenomenal. So I can't say enough about that Reagan other than I want to get some finally and smoke it again for the first time. Chris, thank you.
I enjoyed it. I'll tell you right away on the ride home. I mean, right away, like I said, I got the spiciness. But now that you say that Tootsie Roll, I was getting a lot of that chocolate, especially when I got to the midway point and onto the final half. And it wasn't like, you know, when I smoke cigars, it wasn't like your typical cocoa or chocolatey. Now, do you say Tootsie Roll? How it has that density to it, that richness to it? That's
like
kind
a truffle. Yeah,
exactly. That's exactly, you nailed it right when you said it. That's what I got on my ride home last night.
Yeah, and you know, the key with something like that, you know, because there's a lot of cigars out there that, you know, have a sweet kind of profile. You know, I'm not a dessert guy. I don't eat cake or pies or, you know, cookies or any of that kind of stuff. I just don't really like that. For us, we wanted to have something that was sweet, but that was balanced out, and complex. So there's some almost oaky, woodsy notes in it that complement, kind of offset the sweetness, to where it's not just, okay, I taste this cigar and it tastes sweet. I mean, it's a very complex cigar that takes you on a journey as you smoke it. As you continue to, go down the first third and you get to half and the last third. I mean, it's a roller coaster ride of awesome, in my opinion. I don't know. I'm going from memory here. I haven't smoked one in so long.
All right, I got to say something here so Matt can get a level on my audio, just to make sure. It seems like my audio is coming through now because Mike screwed it up.
Yeah, of course. I'm the only perfect thing on the show. Remember that.
Whoa!
Gotta love it.
All right. Well, you want to take the question, Mike, before we go on to anything else? Why don't we take some questions before we get too far up on the chat list and we don't.
All right. Well, one I was going to ask too is with Gary, Emilio Cigars. How is that coming together? How has that benefited you as a company?
Gary is
a bastard.
I mean,
yeah, we know.
We nicknamed him. Yeah, we nicknamed him G Unit.
So it. No.
Yeah, the G Unit is he's outstanding. With his military background, my military background, we immediately hit it off. In early conversations. But the partnership that we have with Emilio and the distribution that's going on with Emilio right now is absolutely outstanding. The facility in New Jersey, the people that are behind it, logistics, flawless. Couldn't ask for anything better. And then obviously with Gary and his wisdom in the industry and his connections and his insight. I mean, it's like having your own little, Master Yoda that you can just call on and just, hey, I have this question. Hey, we're working on this. What are your thoughts? Hey, we're thinking about this. Give us your input on that. And it's just absolutely phenomenal. The guy's, he doesn't do it for money. He as Gary has said in several interviews before in the past, he's made enough money that he's not concerned about money. Now he's concerned about legacy. And by being able to give little guys like us an opportunity to be able to springboard into the big show, we're truly blessed, truly honored that he would think about that, for us. And, as we continue to work this nationwide distribution and potentially international, it's going great. Couldn't think of anything better and couldn't have enough kind words to say about the man.
Yeah.
The Vampire is good people in our book, no doubt.
Yeah, and I'll tell you something else too about him. That dude's commitment to quality, and really to make something special, dude. It's a breath of fresh air. Because frankly, when we first dove into the industry and had a vision of what we wanted to create as far as a cigar smoking experience, there was just factors out there that would just straight up tell you, you're going to have X amount of cigars out of 100 that are going to be plugged. They're not going to burn right. That just is what it is. You got to factor that in. And we're like, you know what? If we can't make something that's truly special, and a work of art that you get to smoke, then we're really not interested in it. And, we finally obviously found folks who shared that same heart with us. But Gary, that dude embodies that core commitment to quality. And just like Chris said, he doesn't do it for the money. He does it for the legacy and the artistry that is the cigar. So, my hat's off to that dude. That dude's like a walking encyclopedia of cigar awesome. And what was cool is that when we went out to visit him, he let us crash at his place, and he went and stayed somewhere else. And said, "Oh, you guys can smoke, whatever's in my humidor." And so I raided that thing before we left, man. Yeah, and I got a full stock of all the pre-released Emilio stuff, and it was beautiful.
You should have grabbed some Reagan.
Yeah.
He didn't have any Reagans.
I bet Gary has them.
No, he does now.
He does now.
He has more Reagans than me.
Yeah, Gary's a good guy. I was over at his shop, the main store over in New Jersey. We went down to Chickatique, Virginia this past summer, and stopped at his shop on the way down. That's when I met Gary. On the way back, I guess I stopped again, and it's just amazing the amount of knowledge he has and the amount of cigars that he has in that shop too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful thing. And what's funny though is that with the laws in that state, you can't even smoke in that shop. That's like sacrilegious, man. That's like going into a church and not being able to pray. It's just like something immoral about it. But yeah, it's a beautiful thing. He's got a legit humidor in his Emilio HQ.
Definitely.
Well, must take a lot of pressure off. He doesn't. Go ahead, Chris.
No, yeah, I mean, yeah. To answer your question, it definitely does, and that was one of the things that when we first started talking with Gary was to find out. You know, he said, you know, you guys need to focus on the brand, on blending, on your cigars, and not worry about, as Gary says, you know, licking the daily stamps and doing that daily stuff. And absolutely. But, you know, one of the things that we want to do, you know, before we partner with anybody or, you know, join forces or anything like that is to get to know the person. So we went out there and immediately I knew that this was a man that not only could talk the talk, but he walked the walk. When we walked into his main store and he told us that he has a dedicated employee, a tobacconist inside the humidor every minute of the day that store is open. So not only do you walk into the store and then you're, oh, okay, everything's great. When you go into the humidor, there's actually a live body there that isn't overbearing, is there to guide you, is there to ask questions, is there to give guidance as needed, is there to assist you in any way, shape, or form. And as we all know, when you go into the brick and mortar stores, especially for people that aren't very well versed in cigars, and even for us that are well versed, you want to find out, you know, it's a social experience. What's new? What's going on this? What's going on that? I like to smoke this. Give me something that I can try that's fresh on my palate. And so, you know, right then I knew if he thought so much to be able to say that they will have a dedicated employee inside the humidor every minute of the day when it's open, I mean, that's just a testament to how serious this guy is about tobacco. Yeah. And I think he says that he's got over 2,000 facings in that humidor. I mean, wow. Damn.
So take that as a new guy. It's intimidating, right? You go in there, there's so many cigars being made today, and there's so many great cigars, and unfortunately there are so many not so great cigars. Yeah. But you know, you're new, or even not being new, you know, being someone who has smoked for a while, you walk in there, it's intimidating. So it's nice to have someone who can guide you if you're, you know, you're this XYZ smoker, you like this, but you want to try something different. So yeah, I agree with you. It shows how much his passion is for the industry alone.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's see, Mikey. Am I going to do all the talking this friggin' show, or are you just going to sit there and?
Well, no. I
look like Kyle. Just sit there. Just say, hey,
hey, there.
hey,
Kyle and I'll have our own conversation. Screw you. How about that?
I guess so. I sit here waiting.
I wanted to know.
Yeah, we're both just. I'm just sitting here drawing a picture of you.
I'm only saying that, Kyle, because Chris sent me right. Yeah. That's the only reason I'm picking on you, buddy. That's all I'm trying to say to you.
Right on, brother.
Now, I wanted to find out about the name change with the Inception. Now, a lot of people know the Inception came out. That was your cigar, and I was reading, I actually printed it out from the website. They had some, the trademark people weren't very forthcoming, and it ended up that somebody else was granted the trademark for it, so you couldn't use it, so now you changed it. Can you give people a little background on that and what you changed it to and why?
Go ahead, Kyle.
Sure. Well, you know, obviously when you're sitting there blending a cigar, you're thinking about what you're going to name the blend. Are you going to go with just a string of numbers or, you know, letters or combination thereof or an actual word? To be our inaugural cigar, we thought about calling it, you know, something that would embody that, kind of tell the story of it. So we settled on Inception. Well, when we went to file the trademark on it, the trademark office from the government, the USPTO, gave us the clearance to use it. So, and we have all the paperwork on that and everything. So we just, you know, hit the ground running, went into furious production, and, you know, launched it.
Uh-oh. Oh, it's that California weather. Oh. That's what you get, buddy. Yeah, warmth. yeah, probably fried your whole connection.
At least he did it. At least he didn't freeze up on one of these. Oh no, we totally lost him now.
He's coming back. It looks like it's trying him. It should try him.
Oh man.
He's like in the middle of picking his nose.
Yeah, exactly.
Poor Kyle.
He's probably going to use this up.
Kyle's getting the wrath of it all.
We just beat him up, but it's all good. He wears it. He just owns it, you know.
There you go. Hang on, folks, in the chat room. We're just waiting on Kyle to come back, so we're going to stay live.
Good.
Just to, I can pick up a little bit where Kyle was at.
Okay.
You know, we had received the green light from the USPTO that Inception was cleared. It wasn't used in the market in any of the tobacco areas or cigar areas. And so, like Kyle said, we hit the ground. We went into production.
I hate California internet. I hate it. I'm leaving the state.
Welcome back from the mothership.
It's freaking crumbling here. The infrastructure, the roads, the bridges. It's terrible. Highest taxes, and you get nothing for it.
Well, we got you back on. Hurry up and tell the rest of the story.
Quick, before your internet goes.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, here. Anyway, so we started going to production. You know, cigar was a big hit for us, and you know, it was very, very cool. We're very excited. You know, a lot of different blogs and stuff awarded that particular cigar of the year kind of thing, which was very cool. You know, obviously for new guys like us. So I think it was Chris called to check on the Reagan trademark, and you know, which we got cleared on as well. And they said basically, hey, we awarded the trademark on Inception to somebody else, and we're like, excuse me. So long story short, the government kind of cleared us and then gave it to somebody else. And so yeah, I was kind of once again typical government. You know, they always try to endear themselves to you, and yeah, they did it again. And so anyway, instead of going through some big, you know, long legal battle or whatever, we just thought, you know what, our focus is on making great cigars, and we don't want to be distracted, and you know, from that mission, because that's just central, it's key. So we just thought, you know what, let's just bite the bullet, and let's you know, pony up the dough to rebrand and to you know, just take the high road basically, and just, you know, make great cigars. Right. So that's why we changed the name from Inception to Jamais Vu, which, for those of you who aren't familiar with that term, Jamais Vu is the opposite of deja vu. It's basically seeing something for the first time and feeling like it's the first time you've seen it, but knowing logically that you've seen it before. So once again, the name tells the story of, you know, that cigar's journey, that blend's journey. It's the exact same blend, so no one has to be concerned about that. It's the same exact blend. Just has a different footer band, different name, different, you know, stuff on the website, but that's what it is.
Cool.
And I'm glad you were the one that said the name.
Yeah. Exactly.
Now, has that hurt you any, do you think, with having to change the name? Or are people coming out and saying, man, this cigar tastes just like that other one? And thinking that it's a new cigar, or are people actually getting it, that it's going to be...
Well, I think we spread the word pretty good. You know, we put out the press release, and our friends in the blogosphere helped spread the word for us on Twitter, and we are endeavoring to be extremely active in social media and be as open as we can as a company with our process and the cigar journey, because frankly, it's just cool. And, you know, we got into it as just three guys that smoke cigars all the time. I mean, we met at church. You know, we're just friends, and we just smoked like crazy. And we, you know, we just kind of had that same approach with and philosophy with, you know, cigars, is that, you know, we want everybody to take the journey with us, and stupid fly flying around my head. Take the journey with us, and you know, enjoy it, because it's fun. It's cool. I mean, shoot, we're having the time of our lives. You know, we get to make our own cigars, and people actually like it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, dude, come, you know, just come smoke with us. That's just kind of our approach. So, you know, that was rewarded, I guess, that openness, by folks helping us spread the word on that, and you know, get the message out that, hey, it's the same blend, you know, and it's just going to be called a different name, but it's a name that continues to tell the story of that particular cigar. So
cool. Well, let me ask you guys this: are you doing this full time, or are you working other jobs, or this is your whole passion's here? You're all doing this full time?
Yeah, full time as of now.
Cool.
So smoke up, people. Smoke up.
Smoke more. Smoke more.
Mama needs a new pair of shoes. Smoke up.
And some Reagans.
And some, yeah, and send Mama some Reagans.
That'll be the first thing he does. Chris, you should meet him at the airport with some Reagans. Say, here's one.
Heck
That's
no,
all you're
man.
getting.
I got it under lock and key because you know what? You can't get high on your own supply. And if I give him the key to that supply room, it's over. Gary will be all up in my business saying, where's the next shipment? Where's the next delivery? And I'll just be like, oh, yeah, Kyle's got it.
Just bring some bands.
It's all ashes now. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's messed up. It's totally messed up. But next Saturday is my birthday, dude, so you're going to have to kick me down to Reagan. Okay? Isn't today your birthday, Chris?
It's been rumored.
Well, happy birthday and happy future birthday to both of you. There you go.
Yeah, give me some Reagan. Hey.
I tell you what, I'll smoke one for
there you go.
How's that sound?
Yeah, that doesn't sound really that good.
Now, how hard was it for you guys to break into the cigar world? We ask a lot of the newer companies, little boutique companies, things like that. How, to get in to this. It used to be such a closed group. The Padrones, the Fuentes, and all of a sudden you're seeing a lot more boutique brands coming out and getting a lot more recognition like you guys. I mean, how hard was that for you to get in the door, basically?
Well, as closed as it is, it's actually a very open industry. Everybody that's in the industry is very open, is very welcoming. We've had some great mentors along the way. When we started, putting feelers out that, hey, we were actually thinking about doing this, and rather than just making a cigar that, a short run that just the three of us would blend and smoke and everything else, would there be an opportunity? Would there be a possibility to do that? And the doors that were open to us, as Kyle said, to be able to work with the master blender, Manolo Casada himself. I mean, from day one, he was just, hey, I think it's a great idea. I like you guys. If you back up your actions with the words that you're saying, I think you guys will have a place in the market, in the industry. Jose Blanco, just, totally open, totally there. The Padrones have taken time to speak into us and mentor us in ways. And Pete, Dion, Andre, just all the different guys that we've gone to. And, before you actually take that step, you want to see if it's a viable option. Everybody's been open. Everybody's been forthcoming with, some of the stumbling blocks that we'll experience being new guys to the industry. But if we tough it out and we provide the type of cigars and the quality of cigars that we say that we're going to, then the industry will. And so it was definitely a long process. It was challenging, but at the same time, now that we're in there, it's great. I think the industry as a whole has received us well. What do you think, Kyle?
Yeah, no, I would say that too. The challenge, I think, really came probably step two. Step one is introductions, and we have an idea, and when you talk to us and kind of speak into it, and people are very open. People in the cigar industry are very cool. Yeah. We want to sit around, smoke cigars, hang out. It's just this, fraternity of, of guys who share the same passion. So it's very cool in that regard. Once you get through the door, I think the challenge that we faced was finding folks, factories who shared the same sort of passion for the quality and the same vision with what we wanted to make. You can get a cigar rolled, you can go downtown probably to the local shop that has a cigar roller and have them blend you something, and now you have your own cigar. That's great. But to do something that's going to really stand out, that's more of a challenge, because you have to have access to the factories, and you have to have access to the tobaccos. Did I just freeze up?
Your picture, but that's okay. We can still hear you.
Keep going. You're back.
Okay, hang on. Listen, it catch up. Okay.
Feed the mouse some cheese so he can spin on that wheel a little faster.
I know, huh?
Give him some cheese. He'll spin faster.
I've got no love lost for the state. So anyway, once we're able to find the folks who share that same sort of vision with us, and then to get access to the tobaccos that we use. It's very old tobacco, very expensive tobacco that we use in our cigars, because being new guys, what's proprietary to us? Nobody knows who we are. We're just another booth at IPCPR with people saying, "Oh, this is the greatest cigar you ever smoked. Try it." Dude, everybody's got the same shtick. Well, we were really passionate for cigars. Dude, everybody's passionate for cigars. That's why you're at IPCPR, dummy. Right. We got it. So we realized that our blend and our cigars had to be our marketing. They had to be our claim to fame, if you will. You had to let the tobacco do the talking. So we were like, look, if we can't blend a cigar that's just an absolute showstopper, then we shouldn't do this. So, with the inception, which is now Jamais Vu, we were very shocked. IPCPR people, retailers coming back to us saying, this is the best cigar I've had at the show. This tastes so much like a Padron to me. And we're humbled, we were honored. But that's exactly the goal we were trying to hit, because, I would just tell the retailer, they'd come to the booth if they would finally stop. I'd be like, look, bottom line is, I understand the fact that I can't BS your palate. You smoke everything, you know everything, and you know what's going to sell and what's not going to sell, and I can have the prettiest label on there, and it's the prettiest cigar you'll sell once. I get it. So just smoke this, and if you like it, come back. And we walked in there with 0 accounts. At the end of it, we're at like 40 accounts at the end of the show, somewhere around there, and it's just continued to grow from there. And it's just that commitment to, it's got to be the best, or else, we're going to disappear, because it's, it just comes down to that. There's lots of great cigars out there that other people can buy and smoke. Absolutely.
And speaking of retailers, I'm looking on your site here. I mean, you guys really have a lot. I mean, from Vermont to California, from Ohio down to Florida. I mean, you're covered pretty much everywhere, all over the place. So, I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah, and we'll continue to add. I mean, I just had a phone call last night right at midnight with the Don, who let me know of 3 other retailers here in California that will be coming online soon. So it's just a matter of being, meticulous and doing our due diligence and going to the retailer and getting in shops that can share, once again, share the vision we have, and to say, hey, we sell special kind of cigars in the shop, the boutique stuff, the really, small batch special stuff. Mm-hmm. And, this kind of product, this kind of cigar fits in the shop. So it's a matter of cultivating relationships, and we don't just want to, send a guy cigars and, sell these and it just be just another widget that's being sold to a retail store. It's got to be a special thing. This is a relational product. It's a relational industry. So, slow and steady wins the race. We want to build it solid and want to build it right. So that when, folks go in to find an Ezra Zion cigar, maybe they're watching the show and they're like, hey, I see, from their website that, retailer here has it. You can go in there and you can be like, hey, tell me about this cigar. And they'll not only know the cigar, they'll know the tobaccos, they'll know the story behind the company. Mm-hmm. And, it'll be that moment that we envision when you smoke it. It'll be, it's not just a cigar. A cigar is the catalyst to that experience, right. Mm-hmm. And that's really what we're wanting to create, to get the maximum, bang for that buck that customer, that cigar smoker is putting down to buy the cigar.
Right. Cool. Well, I don't know if we mentioned it in the beginning, or you mentioned it in the beginning, but just in case we didn't, since Chris has got it behind him, Chris, why don't you tell us a little bit about the name and the logo that you guys have behind you there? Because it's the logo is pretty badass.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. We'll split it up into 2. I'll take the name. Kyle explains the logo really well.
Okay.
The name Ezra Zion. When we first Kyle brought this crazy idea at one of the hearse that Alan and Kyle and I were attending, that we were gonna think about doing this. We were thinking about names. What type of a name should we name the cigar company and everything else. We want it to be unique. We want it to be different, but just like, the people that we are, we also wanted it to be personal. We didn't realize back then how relational people would really want to know about this. And so at the end of the day, what we came up with is Kyle and Tanya, they were pregnant with their son, Ezra. And unfortunately, during that pregnancy, they lost their boy. And as a result, we decided that we wanted to have that name in there. Shortly after that period, my wife and I had a daughter, Coco Zion Kelly. And so what we decided to do, and my daughter, we were able to spend some time with her. And unfortunately, she had a very short life here on Earth. And so what we decided to do was take Kyle's son, Ezra, and our daughter, Coco Zion, and blend the names of Ezra Zion. And that's how we decided to do it. And it's a way that we can, honor them as continuing in this. It's not It's not a company that is just Kyle, Chris, and Alan. It's a company of 3 families. It's all the way down to our children are involved in this, and our wives are involved in this. And so every time someone picks up an Ezra Zion cigar, they're helping us honor our children in the endeavor. And I don't mean that to be heavy or anything like that. And to be quite honest, we didn't realize that we would end up having to go into depth about that. And it was kind of shocking to us at IPCPR when people actually started asking about that. Yeah. You anticipate them asking about you asking about your tobacco, where it's made, this and that, the numbers and everything else. Right. And then the first time somebody asked me that at the show, I actually had to take a step back and go, oh crap, we're really going to have to put this thing out there. Yeah. And, so those that know, have received it very well, and we're humbled by some of the reactions that we've gotten from that. But it's not meant to be, a downer or low or anything. No. It's meant to just be a way that we can honor them, and sure. So that's the way we do it.
Wow, well, I'll be honest with you. I mean, my condolences to both of you. I have kids, and I couldn't imagine going through it. My heart just dropped when you said it, but I agree with you. I think it's a beautiful and wonderful way to honor. What a tragedy that happened, but a good way to honor your children, and I commend both of you for it. So, but my condolences to both of you.
Definite,
appreciate that.
Absolutely, thank you. Yeah, and I'll let Kyle talk about the logo. I'll step aside so y'all can see it a little better.
Okay.
Yeah, get out of here. No, that's better. Hey, wait, no.
Yeah.
See, look at that. That is so messed up. Well, once again, trying to not be a Me Too kind of a company. A lot of people use lions or, which is cool, or the coins on the sides and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff. The motifs are very similar. So we wanted to come with some of those interesting. It was unique. So because the 3 of us are people of faith. We're Christians and stuff like that. Is the Ark of the Covenant the winged angels touching wings, and the flame in the middle is supposed to symbolize the presence of God, because we want to honor God with everything that we do. I wanted to be the center of what we do. So the shield there, obviously, EZ stands for Ezra Zion, and there's 12 stars in the logo. Just 12 tribes of Israel. Just try to put all the symbology we could in it, just to make it cool and tell the story. And bottom line, we just thought it looked way cool. So and the angels wrap around the cigar, and it's kind of like a sacred thing to us, smoking the cigar. So you kind of have the angel motif with something that's unique, special, and that kind of thing. So it gives us an outlet to talk about it, and to to share our faith in a way that we think is cool, without being weird about it. Because some people can get freaking weird about that stuff. But anyway.
Now wait a minute, you said 12 stars?
There's 3. There's 9 on the shield, and there's 3 on the bottom. You can't really see it.
I gotcha.
So there's 3. So, to us, it's just like, anything we can do to kind of put a little hidden message that, can kind of go into the Ezra Zion folklore. That's what it is. Interestingly enough, though, if you actually look at the band, the 3 lower stars, they got embossed, but they didn't get actually printed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so it was a big thing, like, oh, shoot, well, what do we do with this? Do we rerun the bands? Do we whatever? And I was like, dude, just leave it. Because it just goes once again to the folklore of the journey of the company, and if those symbolize homage to the 12 tribes of Israel, then those can just be the lost tribes. Those the
there
story.
You go.
So why not? Not. It's a happy accident, right? See, and it gives us something to talk about on Stogie 411.
There you go.
Yeah, that was cool. I was looking at it and I was like, well, where's these 12 stars at? And now that you say it, now I can see them. They're embossed, but they're just not
secret.
That's pretty slick.
Mike, you want to take some questions from the chat room?
Oh, righty. How long have you guys been smoking cigars, and what was your first cigar that you smoked? We'll start with Kyle.
How long have I been smoking cigars? I've been smoking cigars for 17 years. And I was 15 when I had my first cigar,
18.
and I was probably the same
18.
cigar.
18 years old when you had your first cigar.
Yeah, exactly.
He wasn't catching on there, was he?
I'm just trying. No. I got it. I'm just
He's
debating.
a little slow on the uptake. He's still in California.
Yeah, I'm fleeing the state here in a couple days, so I was just going to be honest. I think I'm past the statute of limitations, so I think I'm good. But it was a Swisher Sweet, man. I mean, shoot, Swisher Sweet, and a friend gave it to me. You ever smoked a cigar? No, of course. 15 years old, 18 years old. You smoke that cigar, and that's like the coolest moment of your life up to that point, and you're just like, oh, dude, I'm gonna do this till forever, and it was just, of course, the best cigar I had ever had, and I felt like the king of the world because I smoked a cigar. So from then on, it was just absolute love affair with it, and I got progressively better as far as being able to discern what is a good cigar and not a good cigar, and I don't typically smoke Swisher Sweets now. I gave those all to Chris in exchange for some Reagans. He still hasn't sent me the Reagans, but I'm sure he's smoking.
Now you know why he doesn't
Yeah.
have the Reagans.
So yeah, that's my story.
I'm sticking to it.
That's right.
There you go. My first cigar
Tell him
actually.
about that first cigar you had in prison. Tell him about that.
It's like, what?
Yeah,
You were in prison and
Exactly.
you snuck it in like a book or something, and you were smoking it out of the yard. You traded it for some ramen noodles. Ramen noodles.
Exactly.
Cup of noodles.
You know what the beautiful thing is when Kyle comes into Texas, I can welcome him with a big old can of Texas whoop ass because I got about three months worth held up that I just got to smack this boy around. But
It's all pent up here.
Yeah.
he is.
Go ahead there, Roy D. Mercer.
My first cigar, my dad worked for the telephone company and he was on a construction crew, building lines and whatnot. And one of the guys, Tom, that worked with him, he always smoked cigars. Every time he came over to the house, my dad and him would shoot pool, drink beer. Tom always had a cigar in his mouth in the truck, and this is obviously before, you can't smoke in a company vehicle of whatever, this is back when everybody smoked everything. And so he gave me a cigar and I don't know exactly what the name was, but it was actually a house cigar from a place that used to be located in Los Angeles called La Plata. And, so he kind of snuck it to me. And so I thought it was great. I got this cigar, I'm becoming a man, and everything else. So I waited till everybody went to sleep and I snuck out of the house and went underneath the eucalyptus trees and I smoked that thing. And, my experience at that point with smoking was, my dad was a cigarette smoker and I'd sneak a cigarette every now and again. And so I got a hold of that La Plata and I smoked that thing just like it was a cigarette. And I got sick as a dog. I mean, I'm just like, man, I was spinning, the world was moving around me and I did everything except for puke, and that was my first experience with cigars. But there was a period in between then that I didn't smoke based upon that experience. And upon entering the Marine Corps, I was just a tobacco fiend. I'd chew it, I'd dip it, I'd snort it, snuff it, smoke it, do anything. And commanding officer of mine, he was into cigars, and he would hand me a cigar every now and again. And from then, I was hooked after that. And just the different type of cigars, the different experiences, where they're coming from. He had a family member that was in Cuba, and so I was able to experience some Cubans in a very early on in my cigar career, and so that was great. But it's now just anything. I love smoking our cigars, but as I said before, all the cigar greats that are out there, I enjoy trying anything new. If I'm at a local B&M and they say that they've had a house blend, I'll try it. I'll smoke it, and just to see where it is, to see, what that person's palate was trying to attain in that particular cigar. And so, yeah, and it's been about, 20 years, that I've been smoking.
Nice.
Cool.
Let's see, Mike. I'm going to take John G's question, right? He said, you guys mentioned the Nicaraguan zing and the chocolatey flavor. Are those the specific attributes and characteristics you were all personally looking for in your blends?
In the Reagan, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, again, if you smoke the Reagan and you go smoke the what is now the Jamais Vu, you know, the completely different flavors, completely different profiles. You know, same commitment to quality, same philosophy behind the actual, you know, product that is the cigar. But to us, we kind of liken it to a band whose songs all sound the same. You know, it's like, okay, dude, it's the exact same chords, it's the exact same thing. We didn't want to do that, you know. And so every blend, and we're coming out with 3 new blends at IPCPR, and 2 are finalized and they're on the table. 1, we're still letting it rest from our last trip to Nicaragua and smoking it and seeing if we're quite there yet. But we're projected to come out with 3 new blends. So we'll have a total of 5 at the show, and it's every single one of them is drastically different in its profile. It's not like you smoke that and it's like, oh, that tastes like an Ezra Zion. There's none of that. So I feel, I mean, to me, the stuff we're coming out with this year is better than the Reagan and better than the Jamais Vu, which got, you know, lots of accolades last year, to, you know, which we were stoked about. But I mean, this year's blends are just ridiculously good. So you know, if we're going for chocolate in a cigar, yeah, I mean, obviously we're gonna do that, but there's so many flavors you can get out of the tobacco, and it's just fun experimenting, and again, it's a piece of art that you get to smoke. Sure. And so just, you know, playing around with tobacco and smoking out of the bales and different crops and farms and stuff like that. I mean, dude, we're just having the time of our lives. So there'll be no shortage of good, unique blends coming out.
Well, since we're on the Nicaragua thing, not to cut you off, Mike, you seem pretty bent on you enjoy using Nicaraguan tobacco. Do you see in the near future, if you could say, maybe you might try Dominican, you may try a Mexican, you may try something different, or are you going to stick to what you're enjoying?
Go ahead, Chris.
Well,
I got nervous there for a minute. I was like, they're not going to answer that question. I'm like, it wasn't the tough one. We saved that for last.
Yeah, exactly. No, you know, as we've said, we are definitely more well versed in the Nicaraguan tobaccos. You know, as Kyle said, you know, the different crops, the different lots, we feel more comfortable there, and that gets us to the flavor profiles that we're looking for as we're blending cigars. But at the end of the day, you know, if it's a great tobacco, be it Mexican, be it Dominican, hey, we're open. And that's one of the great things about working with some of the people that we're working with, is being able to say, you know, we've got this, you know, expanding our horizons a bit, you know, and sampling and testing the different tobaccos that are out there. I guess, you know, are we always going to be a Nicaraguan Puro tobacco company? And I would venture to guess to say no, because at the end of the day, irregardless of where the origin of the tobacco comes from, if it's great tobacco and it provides a great experience when you light this piece of fire, you know, this plant in your mouth, then we're all for it. So to answer your question, yeah, we're open.
Yeah, and to quote Gary Griffith, you know, the tobacco drives the process.
That's
so, you know, again, we're big fans of Nicaraguan tobacco because that's where our palate's kind of settled. I mean, you know, what do we smoke besides our own stuff? Obviously, Padron, you know, Pete Johnson stuff, Luzione. Just, you know, we just kind of gravitated toward the Nicaraguan stuff because to us it just has that flavor characteristic that we find pleasurable. Mm-hmm. But I mean, you know, obviously, Padron doesn't exclusively use all Nicaraguan. There's a lot of great tobacco out there. It's just a matter of finding the stuff that gives us what we want, letting the tobacco do the talking. So you will probably see a little bit more diversity coming up in the next blends. Okay. But again, it's if you cut me, dude, I believe Nicaraguan tobacco. It's just such great stuff. So
cool. That's fine. And you answered the next question from the chat room, so we don't even have to ask it. They were asking what are some of the other lines that you guys are enjoying.
So
I don't know.
Now they like that Tatuagey. Is that what it is? Tatuagey, I think. I think that's how it is.
Yeah, dude. I had a friend that came up to me and he's like, "Oh, I had this great cigar. Well, what is it? It's a Tatuage." And I'm like, "Oh, really? Yeah."
I can't pick on it because I'm horrible with it. I tell you, if it isn't English, I'm sorry. I can't speak it for nothing. I can't. My pronunciation sucks. I put that disclaimer out there right away. I'm horrible, you know. But you know, if it isn't Bob, John, Bill, Nah, I can't pronounce it.
Yeah,
sorry.
it's the Kill Bill.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's an easy one. I won't mess up the Kill Bill.
That's just me. But hey, if, like you said, the tobacco speaks for itself. I don't get all caught up in the name. I'm more focused on the cigar. So
now, what do you guys see? Now that you're with Gary, I imagine you have a lot broader distribution range than what you had when you were on your own, or maybe not broader, but a quicker distribution range, maybe. Do you see your cigars showing up in a lot more shops around the country? Or are you able to ramp up production in order to fulfill orders to mass produce and get out there?
Well, you know what? If I could just answer that real quick. Hang on. I'll let you answer. But one thing that really scares us is the words mass produce. I just got to say that right off. We don't want to mass produce. Again, the tobacco drives the process, and that's one of the things that Jorge Padron told us about their philosophy was that, a lot of companies, they'll do 6 million cigars in a year, and then the next year's goal is 8 million, and they want to ratchet it up to that point. He says, look, if we make 6 million cigars in 1 year, and the next year there's only good tobacco enough to make 5 million cigars, we only make 5 million cigars, and that's why we're Padron. And I was like, dude, okay, that guy right there. That's what we got to copy, that guy, because they're Padron. That's why they're Padron. So I'll just say that. Now, Chris, go ahead with your brilliance.
I appreciate you recognizing said brilliance. And Gary echoes that same philosophy. When we first, started working with Gary and everything else, he was saying, this is my philosophy, is making sure that we vet the brick and mortars that we have in there. You do not see our cigars out there on internet sites, being undercut or anything like that. And so that just blended, hand in hand. That's our philosophy. The backbone of this industry is the brick and mortars, and we've got to support them. Without them, we'd be a loss. There's some people that subscribe to the thought that we can all just go straight internet, and then that would be great. But, we would miss so much relationship, so much opportunity if we did not support the brick and mortars. So to answer your question, are we able to ramp up more and hit more? Obviously with Gary's network, yes, but we're doing it in a slow, deliberate fashion. Kyle had said that when we came out of IPCPR, we started with 0 at the beginning of the week. We had 40 accounts at the end of the week, and we're right at 70 accounts now. So if you stop and you think, from IPCPR last year, August of last year, to here we are at the end of February, we're still relatively small. We do have a nationwide presence, but we're making sure that we're being very deliberate about where that goes. And then as Kyle said, ultimately, quality, not quantity. We want to make sure that we just recently came back from a Nicaraguan trip. Alan has been to all corners of the South America these last couple weeks, and we want to make sure that the tobacco is there, but it's there to those that we made that commitment to. What we don't want to do is just all of a sudden open up 1,000 retail locations and they get their initial order and then we're out and we're playing this catch-up game.
Right.
It's a bit of a challenge, but at the same time, it's growing the way that we want to do, slow and deliberate, and making sure that those are the shops that are in the right place.
I have to say that's great.
And I agree with you. But consistency is the most, to me anyways, as a cigar smoker, someone who buys cigars and has been doing it for 27 years. To me, consistency is the most important. I want to pick your cigar up now, and in 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, you're still making that cigar. I want it to taste the same. I want to know. Now, there's some different factors, but it should be consistent. Pick up a Padron 3000, it tastes the same. I pick up an Illusion Epernay, it always tastes the same. It has that consistency. So, and I commend you for that as well, for focusing more on quality than quantity, because quality will make you grow, it'll grow faster than quality. So I commend you for that.
And we had to, sorry, I didn't mean to step on you there, Mike, but a quick story. At IPCPR, we were approached by a significant online resource that we would all know if I'd name. And they approached us, and immediately they had done a little bit of background on us, and they walked up to us and basically said, we can do this for you. And short term, it looked like a great opportunity, But again, holding by our core beliefs and our brick and mortars and how we wanted to go and grow, and allowing us to maintain that quality control, we could go anytime and verify and vet who's rolling, where's the tobacco coming from, so on and so forth. We very early on had to make that decision, and we've made that decision. We've stood by that decision, and we plan on continuing in that way.
Yeah, well, it's your name. It's like anybody. You can mass produce, and you can get them online. And I'm not dogging any people that do it online, but the problem is when you mass produce, a lot of the time the quality is gone. It truly is. I mean, you start. You buy a box of this and a box of that, and 5 or 6 smokes in that box are plugged or cracked or some, when you're mass producing, that leaves people with a bad taste in their mouth, and then they look at you and they say, oh, geez, yeah, I had it. It's a good cigar, but, I bought a box and half of them I couldn't smoke. I'd rather personally have someone go to my brick and mortar, buy 5 cigars that I know the quality is there, and you're going to get the same consistency all the time, a good smoke. So
yeah, and what's funny too about that, the dirty little secret with a lot of these guys is that they, you might say, okay, well, I can buy that cigar for $10 or $12 down at the my local shop, or I can get it online for $2 and it's the same cigar. Well, really, it's not.
It's not,
because what they do is they have the blend that they call the same blend. That quality stuff goes to the B&M, and then they actually change the blend with cheaper tobacco, call it the same thing, and sell it online.
Right.
So you're getting an inferior product, but you're getting duped, is what you are.
Right. You're not using grade A tobacco. You're
not. And that's the dirty little secret in all of it. And it's like, what, to us, that's what's so disingenuous and disrespectful to the folks that are out there smoking your cigar. Because you're telling them one thing, but it's all a smoke and mirrors kind of a game. And it's like, what, dude, we're not going to do that. Nope. To me, that's just not the way you want to treat folks that should be your brothers and your sisters in the leaf, and that's just not something we're going to subscribe to. So
cool,
good for you guys,
definitely. All right, well, I guess we are getting to the end here. What's a question here?
Well, here let's take another question. Then we got to take John's question.
Yeah, he was asking about your expected desired production for the year, number wise. I guess I don't think I don't know if he means the ones coming out at IPCPR also, or just with the Reagan and the new Inception. I'm not going to even try the name.
Try it. Come on,
Jamais vu.
Hey, and I'll tell you,
Jamais vu.
Jamais vu.
Yeah. Hey, and just for everybody that's out there that's wondering how to say it, it's 3 parts. It's Ja, like Ja Gabor. May, like the month, and then Vu, like voodoo. Ja, May, Vu.
There you go.
Easy.
Look at that.
Easy.
Simple.
Come on, Mike, try it. I just tried it.
Try it.
Jamais vu.
Oh, dude, you're
look at that.
You do all our voiceovers from now on.
But so he was just wondering the numbers.
As far as as Kyle said, we're trying to make sure that we have those 5 blends lined up for IPCPR that will be able to be released in and around that time frame. Again, tobacco drives the process. They're on the tables being blended. We're tweaking one additional one right now. You're also going to see some fresh new sizes in the Jamais Vu and then also in the Reagan. So that those 2 lines will expand under their own. So as far as actual numbers goes, I couldn't tell you that, each vitola of each cigar right off the top of my head or anything like that. But, hopefully with those, a total of 5 blends and the increase in the different vitolas, people are going to be able to find the cigar that they like, and be able to enjoy it.
And now, of course, Kyle's not going to get to try those new Reagans.
No, it's all just a theory to me. Yeah, I heard about this cigar, and I hear good things, but forget it.
Well, we like to end the show on a little kind of funny but not so funny note anyways. But we have a question that our chat room came up with a long time ago when we started this show, and we always like to end it with it. And we'll ask each one of you if you each can answer it. Unfortunately, we have to put you on your deathbed, but you're on your deathbed. You got 1 cigar. Which cigar is it that you smoke before you go?
That's such a great question.
So, Look at Kyle's going to say the Reagan because he doesn't get it. So
that's actually a good one. You know what? And I don't mean to be self-serving here, but the one I would go smoke that I would request would be, and I don't know if we can actually release what the name of the blend is, but a new blend we're coming out with that's actually in production right now would be the one that I would go with. Chris, again, you handle the legal stuff. I don't know if we're allowed to say stuff or not that, but
it's okay if you're not. That's right. Okay. Don't.
It would be in the next couple months. We'll probably hopefully have press releases and everything on it, but it would be the new blend. It's probably the best cigar I've ever had. It's just outstanding. Cool. So I would go with that.
Okay. Chris,
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, and
can we say the letter it starts with so we know or no?
Well, the mine might be different than Chris's because the two blends we have finalized, he's probably going to say the other one if he picks one of our blends, but the one I'm talking about starts with an E.
Okay, there we go.
The E blend.
And mine would be, and I'm going to change the question because it's got to be two.
Okay,
one would be the Padron 26. That was given to me by a dear friend of ours, Alan, shortly after my daughter's passing. And so, as we all know, taste and smell is definitely one of those memory recalls. And so that was a hell of a day, but it was a glorious day, and it was a brother-filled day. And so that's the type of experience that I have whenever I pick up that particular cigar. And but the second one is, I just came in love with this cigar that's going to be coming out. And again, not to be self-serving, it has just taken me. It's enamored me so much that it literally took me a day out of our recent week trip down to Nicaragua. It's just phenomenal. It's right up my alley. It hits my palate, 10 ways to Sunday. It starts with a T, and that one's going to be coming out pretty quick. Super excited about that. And I just told Alan and Kyle, I'm like, hey, dude, I'm done. I'm out. I'll just go back to Los Arcos Hotel there in Esteli and smoke these things for the rest of the week. You guys got the helm. And they ended up having to pull me back. I mean, it's literally that good. So
nice. Well, we look forward to trying both of them now that we know at least what it starts with, so we know when it comes out we can definitely sit back and say, okay, we see what they're talking about.
What's weird about that is you were talking about the mothership earlier, and it's ET. Did you catch that?
Hey. Yeah. We're like the Masonic, man. There's always symbols for everything.
We broke the code.
Oh, hell, now they're going to have me killed or something. Watch.
Oh, my goodness, dude. You're like Dan Brown wants to be when he grows up. Yep.
Well, listen, guys. We wish you all the best. Yes. We appreciate you being patient and waiting for our issues to get resolved to get onto the show. I want to say you're two of the nicest guys we've had on the show in a while, and your passion is there. We really appreciate you taking time out for little guys like us and talking to us, and we welcome you back anytime in the near future.
Yeah, appreciate that. And I'll tell you what, when we come out here in the next couple of months with the new blends, dude, we'll send y'all some and come back on the show and we can all smoke them together.
Oh, it sounds great.
We'd appreciate it very much. Yeah. So thanks again. And this will be up. We'll have on our site, we'll have all your information on there when this is posted. So a lot of people watch it after the live feed. And follow these guys on Twitter. You'll see it in the post when it comes up. Great guys to talk to. And again, thanks so much for coming on and taking the time out.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate the time.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Yeah.
All right. Now, this might look a little weird because we're not set up to have the extra guests. Well, actually, I'm going to just go to a one shot of me right now. Yeah, I'm going to just put me on the screen because it's really, really wacky. We're trying to put us both on. It was a good show. I'm smoking the Reagan here, and I am definitely enjoying it. Bring Mike back in, and it's nice to hear the newer people the cigar manufacturers coming out and saying they would rather stick with quality than quantity. It's with me in Pennsylvania, like I always say, I'm close to all these huge, massive online stores. A couple hours away, I have all of them, and it's nice for people like Mike, living in a state that wants to try to charge 75% tax. That's just ungodly. It's just stupid. But for most of the people, I like to go to a brick and mortar. I like to be able to sit down and smoke with people and enjoy a cigar together. So, what do you think, Mike?
Yep. No, I agree with you. My heart dropped just how they came over with the name, and to push forward for something like that, and to be passionate as and I know there's tons of people out there passionate about cigars. A lot of manufacturers are, but you could tell these guys are truly passionate about it, and quality over quantity, I think, is great. It was a wonderful show, and I'm humbled that they would come on and take time. And as always, it looks like Johnny, thanks for joining us today. We really appreciate it. But at the end of the video here, I just want to make a quick note. Our anniversary show is coming up next month. We got a lot new things for you guys. Today, if you're watching this show, you can watch us now live on your tablets and on your mobile devices. Now we do have a new server. Thanks to Matt for getting that set up, Matt. And so you can watch us now on on pretty much anything out there. We do have a new site design coming up. We do have some swag, a new logo. So we have a lot working. So in the next month, you're going to see a lot of changes on our site that we're very, very excited about. And so that was it. So another great show. We'll keep you posted for when the next show is. I know it's going to be La Flor Dominicana is our next show. I don't know the date off the top of my head, but look forward to the post. And that's all I got. So we'll see you all soon.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.